Trees are an unavoidable part of Minecraft, and part of every journey for a new player is going out into the world to collect different types of wood and saplings in order to grow different palette and color blocks in their bases. But of course, in the desert, the closest thing that you're going to get to greenery is our lovely friend the cactus. Essentially, in Minecraft, if you're a new player, you need different types of wood blocks in order to create pallets, to create houses and all the other types of buildings and infrastructure that you want. You can't do that with a cactus, and this behind me is ultimately what you see in a desert landscape. We do have our lovely studio behind us, but apart from that, we are venturing into the wilderness where nothing grows apart from dead leaves, cactus and sugarcane across the water. On today's episode, volume 2 of HypeCraft, we're going to be looking at creating some rudimentary wood farms to complement the tiny little wheat farm that we made from episode 1. You can go back and watch the episode now, which was a 30-minute debut into my life in the desert. We look at some of our future builds in the intro, and then we go through some of the early doors exploration that all new players go through. We're going to pick up right where we left off, and that means creating some semblance of life in the desert. As you can see behind me, there is no life that spawned in the desert in terms of trees, woodlands, and having those different types of wood pallets do make a difference when it comes to wanting to build structures in your world. So we're going to go set out and get some mangrove, and we're also going to then create a couple of structures, really early doors, Stone Age creations, to complement our wood farm that we're going to have in the game, so we can then start to make some buildings and some infrastructure in the desert. So just before we get into that, if you haven't already, pop a like on the video. We'd love any support and feedback on the channel. Subscribe to HypeCraft, and let's get in to today's episode. I have skipped ahead and traveled to the Mangrove Swamp, and today's episode is very simple. We're going to just achieve one little thing, and that of course is to get enough wood collection and some of the mangrove saplings so that we can go back and start to forge ourselves a little wood farm, so that on the desert we have some wood to use. So let's get into it. So let's stay in third person mode just for now until we reach the island. It's not too far away from the base. It's negative around 900. And yeah, our whole purpose of the game today is just to simply get enough resources to take back home. This is a common part of Minecraft, typically. So before we get going, it might be worth putting down, if I can afford it in a second, a crafting table. So we can do that in a minute. Okay, this is a big old tree, so we're going to need... I wonder if you can make a crafting table. No, you can't. You actually need the wooden planks. Can you make wooden planks from the mangrove roots? You cannot. So you actually need the roots of the trees. Okay, I might have to move on from there. But we're going to be using a lot of the mangrove seeds anyway, so it's always good to have on hand. Okay, there's a mangrove sapling there. Okay, so we're approaching nighttime, and there's a couple of things that we need to do. I need to craft some planks so I can make a bed and put down a crafting table. So just before everything starts attacking me, let's put down a crafting table. We'll just do it by the boat. Crouch down, put a lamp on top, and we should be able to make a bed. So I said it's not ideal. I took enough wool to come over, and we're going to sleep away from the base. We're probably going to be doing this for a couple days in Minecraft, of course, whilst we get going. So let's get back. Okay, so I believe it was this way. Whenever there's a wreck, a portal, it's always worth it. I would like some armor. Just some... oh my god. Just some temporary armor so that we can operate. Yes, okay, I believe it's through here. I can see a couple of the blocks. Jesus Christ. Okay, perfect. Okay, safe and sound. We're at our latest portal discovery. And what do we have? We have a flint and steel. Oh, we have a golden helmet. Aqua affinity. In total, I think I spent around an hour and a half of my life inside the mangrove biome, just collecting some of the basic resources, from the saplings to the source wood blocks to the mangrove planks, so that we can bring back to the desert. And from there, we can start work on some open air huts so that we can put down some chests and some furnaces. And then from there, we can place down some of our basic wood farms so that we can at least get to work on creating an amass of resources for future builds. So we're at our tiny plot of farmland here, and some of our crops are growing nicely. I think it's about time that before we build the wood farm, let's just build a little shelter. Let's beat the heat. Let's just build a tiny little shelter so that we can protect ourselves. So let's use some mangrove logs. And we may actually, we might need to put down the crafting table just for now. We can make it just as big as this here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're going to just build it one side out. Let's build it 4, 2. Might be worth doing this for 3. Okay, so what we want to do actually is make it just the whole thing is the platform here. 4. Don't quite know how to explain what I'm making yet, because I'm just making a little shelter for essentially I just want to build something where, so from there it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's just build this. So 2, 3, 4. Can I reach over there? Yes, I can. One, 2, 3, 4. Let's build some mangrove stairs up. Okay, so let's get on top. Don't know how this is going to look, but we're going with the mangrove theme. Okay, I can chop that down afterwards. So let's just put this all the way across the top. Stick it one out actually, so it looks like it's not just on the top. Okay, let's fill out the outline. Yeah, let's get rid of you. And change of idea. Let's put some blocks in the corner. Okay, that looks slightly better. Okay, what we might just do, for the sake of not having it look completely flat, we could do something actually. No, let's do the whole row. We'll just do a couple nice little rows. Give it a little racing vibe. Some stripes, perfect. They fit really nice. Okay, I know it's just cosmetic, and I'm barely ever going to see this, but at least it's something. Okay, so do I still have any of my wool left? Need some form of shelter. So lastly, let's just double check if this works. I could just put up let's just put up 4 more, 5 or 6 more. And I know it's crude at the time, but we don't have enough iron to be picky. Let's just put down some torches in the corners. Or potentially what we could do is fill the back wall with... No, that will look a lot better. So I'm just going to change my mind on something. Thankfully, mangrove. I think what we're going to do is... I want to be able to attach some chests, and sometimes it looks awkward against fence posts, so... Let's see what this looks like. Because then we can put some chests down there. So we've only got 3 right now, so we're not exactly playing with a lot of fire. So we can have a gap in the middle. We can always have something else there. Okay, so the colours look a bit strange, but it's okay, we're going with it. We're going for the desert feel. We can put the crafting table slap bang in the middle. 2, 3, 4. So anything above that won't typically work. I don't know if it might be a good idea to fill in the entire wall. So we could potentially hang something, or we could have some barrels across. No, we'll do some barrels. Let's do some barrels across the top. So yeah, 1 solid wall at the back. And see, so we're in the middle of the day. And in the desert, sometimes you need a little bit of shelter. Whenever I go to Spain, they always have regular rest stops. There's always tiny little shelters to protect you from the sun. So, lastly, let's see if I can attach any barrels on the top. Reason why, sometimes you can't add a third chest here because the chest won't actually physically open. So, it might just be worth having a row of barrels. That looks a-okay to me. I could add another one there as well. So I should be able to put some doors at the big top and ends. That looks a lot better. Just for the aesthetic design, we'll do that the entire way around. This was a trick or something that I learnt from another YouTuber. I'm sorry that I didn't know your name, but in the corners of the houses, they always put some of these decorative trapdoors on the corners. It just helped to, you know, make it stand out a lot more. And also, because I put some extra planks on top, you can also see a tiny little groove there. So I'm liking how that's looking. Okay, I'm definitely going to need some more trapdoors. I'm going to need at least double. Do I need another one for there? Yes, I do. Okay, so those two are covered. You may as well just start getting the rest of the trapdoors. We could also potentially go around the farm as well and just do the edges with trapdoors. So there's our little shack in the woods. We're just finishing off some of the detail around the side, just to give it another dimensional look about it. Looks very nice. One thing I like about the mangrove, and people may think this look ugly, but because we're in the desert, it kind of fits the aesthetic, because everything would be super hot. So it's always nice to be able to just have something that looks breathable. And also it's got a unique sound. So that's done. So now we are just in the process of essentially figuring out where we're going to plot our trees. I believe it might just be beneficial to have it directly to our left. And now that we've got some chests down, there's a good chance that I'm going to be spending a lot of my time in the next few minutes basically using this time to... Sorry, I always get carried away. To basically collect up sand and do a tiny little bit of terraforming. So let's get straight on that. With our primitive storage built, it gives us a little bit more room to complete today's project, which is a very basic and rudimentary wood farm. Most players that use the plains biomes, the jungle, or anywhere where dirt blocks are easily accessible have no problem doing this, but for me in the desert, I've needed to arm myself with some bone meal, as well as some of the mangrove saplings to create ourselves a base. One thing though that you always have to consider when doing a Minecraft project is that there's a lot of terraforming that goes on, and this is basically a time lapse to explain that terraforming is a part of the game. It's what you spend hours doing and it passing without you really thinking too much about what you're doing with your life, clearing out areas for flat spaces, for terrain, mountains, and everything in between. I didn't do too much, but I leveled out a piece of the sand within the desert so that I could get to work on a wood farm directly next to our little outpost. Oh my days. Okay, so because I was in night, I've been attacked. I've got 2 hearts of health. I need to run away. Because I've created some form of a shelter, I can take them. I just need to keep my distance from the one with a sword. Oof. So because I woke up and I'd created this little bit of shade for people, it had essentially allowed some of the enemies to spawn right in the morning. So something to be aware of. I maybe jumped from... For now, let's just protect myself. We'll put a couple of torches down. That should be enough to cover us. So let me just get the tools that I'm going to need for this. So I'm going to get the mangrove logs, lots of dirt, more mangrove logs, and the propagule, I will never know how to say that name correctly. And we'll take some of this as well. So let's put this in order. So one question is, I'm wondering, can I grow these in 4? What I'm going to do is just do 1. I'm going to make 1. So I want to keep it in line here. So let's give it a bit of room. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, no, we just want a 4x4 for dirt. So we just want to see if it grows with the dirt. Then we can just surround it. And let's see if the propagule works. So finally, okay, perfect. So this is the type of distance that we need. Wow, look at that. We have trees that look baked in. So now all I know is that we just have to keep that distance there. So essentially this was it. I was just going to create some canopies for the trees. Let's go a few out. We'll do the tree line there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Cover it. So again, let's see what the bone meal looks like. Okay, so we got another tree up and running. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's cover it around so it looks natural. And same process again. Okay, so for this one, we have to grow... We have to grow them separately. So what does this... Okay, I don't think we're gonna... Don't think those are gonna grow. So for now... Hold on a minute. Let me just try one more. Let me just see if this one will work. No, I think I'm just wasting my breath. So... That can stay. I may just cover some of the bases in torches. We are now dealing with the unknown. We're basically putting ourselves at risk for enemies to now catch us in the shade. Okay, I think we got enough room to do 2 or 3 more, so we're just basically going to do an entire row. We're just going to do one big wall of mangrove tree. I will definitely be filling the rest of this in, but it doesn't reach out that far for now, so we're safe. Okay, so let's do the same again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this way we can have all of them contained. Let's put the torches down so nothing spawns on the light area that we need. And again, let's do the bottom right one. Let's start feeding them some bone meal. Jesus Christ, they get so big! We can take these ones back because I'm not sure we need them. Wonder why some of them isn't eating all the bone meal. I'm not going to waste any more though. As soon as one goes up, we can take away the rest. Just look at how much resource that provides us as well. And just so far, look at the... So yeah, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lined up. Look at how big that one is. That goes so far into the sky. So, let's just do one more. We'll do one more, and then I think we're going to have satisfied our itch. And I just want to see the difference of not putting down the lights first of all, if it interacts or interferes with some of the spawning. Oh, maybe not. I think it's all dependent on other factors, but that's a-okay. Okay, so essentially, that was what I was looking to do. I didn't expect some of the mangrove trees to be so big when you grow them, but they provide so much resource. And in amongst the desert, I have now managed to have an entire bunch of farmland that we can use. As I said, I know it's not, as I said, it looks very unique, it looks distinct, but it is what it is for now. We're trying to build, we're trying to grow, we're trying to learn. And yeah, just look at that. I think in the breadth of the world around us, having all of those trees in the desert kind of looks refreshing. With the completion of our early days wood farm, it now means that we have 3 creations in the desert and some form of a foundation in the game. Beside me, I have some cacti, inside some plant pots, inside some clay, and on the top of those are some mangrove leaves that we have placed on top. So it's a feature that I've been using throughout the game, using some shears to ensure that we have so much decoration and greenery throughout the desert. So wood farms are an excellent source of not only saplings to build up your wood supplies, it's also an excellent source of creating some decorative pots and some form of greenery, especially in the desert. It helps out. Let me know what you think about the channel's slow pace, how you think I'm getting on, and if you're looking forward to future episodes, if there's any differences that you would do or any ideas, I'm all ears for future recommendations on the channel, and I'll be looking to implement them as soon as I can in future editions of HypeCraft. Apart from that though, I'm going to let everybody go and enjoy the rest of their time in the day. And I just want to thank anybody that's been contributing to the community and messaging or talking or providing any feedback. It means the world to me. I'm looking forward to the next episode, which is going to be a big structure in comparison to what we've been building, which is a lava farm. We're still building up foundations inside the desert, and lava goes a long way to powering all my future builds. Until next time, I really hope that you've enjoyed this video, and let's see you on the next edition of HypeCraft.